Today, the president announced he's putting his unqualified stooge of a henchman in charge of our national intelligence apparatus so that he can conduct an ideological purge of the intelligence community. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal today, Donald Trump said he expects Bill Pulte, his newly installed acting director of national intelligence, to begin firing people. As the acting director, Pulte will be, quote, less shackled, according to Trump. He'll have more power to gut the intelligence community, to do what it seems Tulsi Gabbard would not.
And it's an acting position. It's not a permanent. He's not going to be permanent because, I don't think he'd want to be permanent. But he's a very smart guy, and he may find out some things about the rigged elections, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, you hear that part? The rigged elections? Donald Trump's favorite pastime, next to ballroom construction and home renovations, is trying to meddle in U.S. elections unlawfully. John Brennan is an MS Now senior national security intelligence analyst, served as director of CIA under President Barack Obama, who joins me now. First, as someone who's spent his entire life in the U.S. intelligence community, your reaction when you first saw the news about Bill Pulte as the acting director of national intelligence?
I thought it was a parody account. I didn't think it was real because not only is Bill Pulte unqualified, he has no experience whatsoever in the intelligence and national security realm. Also, his tenure at the Federal Housing and Finance Authority, I think, demonstrated that he doesn't, in fact, deserve to get security clearances because he abused his authority and his access to personal records there for partisan purposes. And certainly, in all previous administrations, if he applied for a security clearance, he would have been turned down for it because it demonstrates he is not trustworthy and he cannot be trusted with this nation's most important national security secrets. So again, I don't think Donald Trump wants somebody qualified in there who actually values the importance of intelligence, because clearly Donald Trump totally, disregards any intelligence input that he gets. But he also wants somebody who is unprincipled and lacks any integrity so that Donald Trump can direct him to do whatever he wants him to do. And as you pointed out, looking for things that would try to buttress the false claims about rigged elections in 2020 or stolen elections in 2020. He can take intelligence products and he can selectively redact or release things to misrepresent the facts. And we've seen this happen before with Tulsi Gabbard and even John Ratcliffe when he was DNI. So it is a very, very sort of dangerous nomination or appointment because, again, Bill Pulte does not have any of the credentials, capabilities, and I think most importantly, the integrity that is needed to be at the top of our 18 intelligence agencies.
You talked about clearance and the idea that he was, abusing his access to mortgage documents, which it clearly seems like he did, to sort of gin up these pretextual referrals for prosecution. But it also strikes me this is someone who I'm not sure he could pass a vet like just on just his background. This seems a little dangerous to have this person as the person who's at the top of this agency, as a person who, I don't know what's in his past. He's done some weird stuff in his past. He was like running some kind of scheme on Twitter where he was like, DM me and I'll give you money. And he was boosting meme stocks. And all of that seems like a real dangerous thing to have as the person who's the head of the national intelligence apparatus.
Well, it is, and it's certainly very much on brand because Donald Trump has appointed a number of individuals who are not just unqualified, but also equally unprincipled or untrustworthy. And the signal it sends to the workforce, the intelligence community, is that Donald Trump doesn't care about their work, their profession, and the importance of national security. And the signal it sends to our allies and partners overseas is that the intelligence community under the Trump administration is something that is not going to be valued. It's not going to be supported. And the signal it sends to, Mr. Putin, Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un, other individuals, and Iran is that the intelligence process is not going to be robust. It's not going to be strong. It's not going to be capable under a Bill Pulte, who, again, as a acting director of national intelligence, has enormous authority and enormous power and can access this country's most sensitive secrets.
This idea about firing people, it was in some ways useful for Trump to speak about this so openly in this interview with the Wall Street Journal and then today. So Trump told the Journal he wants Pulte to approach the job similarly to the way Education Secretary Linda McMahon has managed her agency, which has been essentially with a mandate to disband it. That's her mandate. In fact, they talked about getting rid of the Department of Education. ODNI should maybe even be terminated. We'll make that decision. And he's also talking about he will have latitude to fire people. What do you understand as the agenda here when he says the point is to go in and fire a lot of people?
It is to neutralize the intelligence community and its capabilities. And clearly, again, this is so similar to what other authoritarians around the world have done in terms of an authoritarian playbook. Gain control of the intelligence security services, gut them, get rid of anybody who poses a threat to you, just like he's doing in the media through his cronies, just like he is doing with the courts and the Department of Justice. He is trying to control the instruments of power, and he's using every tool that he has to go after his enemies and to control these institutions of governance that really have been the pillars of our democracy and our republic for generations. So again, the damage he can do and the damage that Bill Pulte can do in 210 days, with, in terms of the length of his potential tenure, is enormous, especially when we're at war with Iran and we have challenges with Russia and Ukraine and China and other things.
John Brennan, who is director of CIA under President Barack Obama. It's always great to hear your thoughts on this. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris.